A warm welcome, dear sisters and brothers, to another episode of Call to Serve. As you know, this is a program that looks at the life of a priest. A priest's life is a living testimony of the existence of God and His work in his life. And today we have with us Father Charles Leon, who has over 30 years as a priest with him, full of experiences, different roles, different responsibilities, and everywhere talking about our Lord. We welcome you to the program, Father.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord. As always, we have this first question about where it all began. Where did that first calling come to you, Father?
Well, I am priest for the last 33 years.
Praise the Lord.
I am coming from a remote village in Trivandrum district called Podiyur.
Okay.
I joined the seminary at the age of 12.
Okay.
From a rural village, I came to the Trivandrum city where there is an English medium.
Okay.
Then I started as a boy. I started there as a student life. After, when I'm a below average student, not excelling in studies, I hardly passed SSLC. Then I joined for pre-degree in St. Xavier's College,
Okay.
where there was a professor of economics. He's the one who really motivated me to face the people, to speak in English, and he's the one who boosted me to study well. So I'm very much indebted to Professor Joseph, who is the economic professor there.
Okay.
Then I came to this seminary in 1978. Now it's going to be 40 years, Kamagiri Seminary for Philosophy Studies. And after completing my philosophy, I desired for getting a regency for 1 year.
Okay.
To get, because no, the very early, at the age of 12, I joined the seminary. I did not know what is the society and all. So my bishop told me, if you can take regency, but there is no guarantee that you will be taken back. You can take home regency. Then I said, no, I do not want, I want to join. So I joined the Mangalapura Seminary for Theology. In 1985, I was ordained as a priest. Then I was appointed in the coastal villages of Trivandrum. From there, I had the desire to study more for secular studies. So I did my graduation in private. And once I completed my first year in priesthood, I completed my graduation and my graduation philosophy from Kerala University. From there, that time we are not supposed to go for higher studies. Higher studies means graduation. You can maximum up to pre-degree.
Okay.
From there, after graduation, some of the priests told me, you are the only one who is graduate in our diocese. Why don't you go for post-graduation? I said, is everything left to the bishop? Then bishop asked me to go join for a PG course in social work, MSW, Loyola College of Trivandrum. But at the same time, I was told that one condition, the parish should not suffer. That means I was having 8 parishes. Right now, those parishes are nearing the diocese. I was traveling about 30 kilometers, 30 to 60 kilometers every day, coming by motorcycle, attending the classes and social work. By God's grace, I got university first rank.
Praise the Lord.
Then, meantime, I have a parish. I have all the responsibilities in the diocese. So when I look back, then I did my postgraduate, doctorate, MPhil from JNU, Delhi. Then my doctorate in Rajagiri College of Social Sciences. Meantime, I joined here as a staff in the seminary. Then I got an opportunity to join the college, Loyola College. So where I studied, I got the chance to be a professor there. I served as a professor of social work, Loyola College of Social Sciences for more than 17 years. That's a rich experience. Throughout my life, I always had the opportunity to serve as a pastor in a parish and teaching in the college or in the seminary, wherever I am.
And that's so beautiful, Father, because you're saying you started as a little boy of 12 years old, and at that time you were not even sure about SSLC. I mean, you were not even sure about the 10th standard. And from there you've risen, and the Lord has really made use of so many. What is that made you come out and rise up so well?
I never had the desire to grow in my academic excellence. But everything is God's providence.
And it was like so far away. You said SSLC, no, I'm not even anywhere close.
I was not sure that I will pass.
And here you're getting a first rank in the university.
Yes.
And I mean, what did you do? Did you pray hard? Did you also take care of other things.
Definitely.
What was that helped you?
See, I said, when I was in pre-degree, I got that the methodology of studying that I got from my professor of economics.
The process of studying.
Process of studying. So that made me then. Usually, there was also a history professor, Father George Kudivelu, who said Jesuit. He always appreciated me in my classes. That's what I say. We instead
so
of
important that encouragement is so important.
Encouragement, appreciation, really it makes us to grow.
And somebody really built you up. Father.
Definitely. My parents are ordinary people. My father is a merchant.
Yes.
My mother is a homemaker, and my brothers all they had their SSLC studies and all. I'm the only one who had the higher studies because everything is because I joined the seminary.
And the Lord has been so good. And Father,
it's a God's providence.
Yes,
that's what I want
yes.
to say.
And what you're saying is, as you were studying, you also had the parish.
Definitely.
You also had some other responsibilities.
Yes.
You were traveling 30 kilometers. So do you like that, Father? Is that what helps you with, do you like all these many different responsibilities and that's how you are able to move together? Or
from 1985 onwards, I was traveling a lot. I was moving around. See, now I am 58. I can tell you, I don't have, by God's grace, I'm not a diabetic. I don't have cholesterol. And also, I don't have those things.
A process everywhere. You've set up a discipline.
Lifestyle disease I am not having right now as per God's blessing. Because of my movement, my everything.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to say. Another thing which I know, God's grace. See, I was not intending to go for a professor in the college. It's all by accident, I would say. I was appointed here and my bishop wanted me to be here in the seminary as a staff, but there was a vacancy in the college. Meantime, for fun, I wrote UGC and I got the first chance. And my friends asked me, you go and just, I said, I did not write. I will not pass. But when I went to the university, I saw my name is there.
Yeah, the Lord was leading you at every step, Father.
And moreover then, Bishop asked me to go to the US for a visit. So I got visa and everything. On Wednesday, I'm planning to travel. Monday, I had a big accident in Kayangulam. And I was fully unconscious. I was taken to the hospital, so I couldn't travel. That time, the vacancy was notified in the college, and I could attend. If I would have gone to the state for a visit, definitely I tell you, I will not get a chance to join the college because the interview and everything will be over. So I say, this is God's providence. God has a plan.
He's been taking you forward.
Yeah, God's plan is there. It is not by intending. I never thought I would get a chance to teach in a college. So it's everything is providentially. These things happen. And I'm grateful to God because what I am right now is only because of God. I am a God-made man, not a self-made man.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to say.
Wonderful, Father. Father, in all of these different roles and responsibilities you've done so many things together and there must have been definitely many challenges for you. How did you overcome those challenges? If you can just share a couple of instances or...
See, my bishop is Bishop Susai Pakya. He was my professor here and he was my spiritual father, the seminary for 4 years. So he trusted me and he gave me a lot of responsibilities in the diocese. He became a bishop in 1990. I completed my studies in 1989. All of a sudden, that means I am just hardly 4 years in my priesthood. He appointed me as the chairman of an inquiry commission for social work.
Okay.
I just passed my MSW. Then he appointed, I made a lot of recommendations. In the college, what we study is only theoretical. Actually, that inquiry commission made me to know more practical about things and all. Then he made me the director of social work. See, at the time, I was only 30 years. Hardly 30 years.
Okay.
So he made me a director for social work. That time, the most challenging one is, I was the youngest one. When I am made as the director of social work, there are many senior priests.
Absolutely.
And they all made why he is given, because he is just a junior. Anyway, Bishop trusted me and I did my best because I did not want to be a burden for the bishop. But the most challenging one, that is the anti-alcoholic movement, that it is during my tenure I started this. That time, most of the senior priests asked me, you don't have any experience. Because now I am coming from Purdue, which is the place for illicit brewing. It is. So I know the pros and cons of all those, the
and the
evil
families that are suffering because of it, right?
I understood, I experienced, and I can. So I started the process, and most of the priests told me, you are doing this because he's immature, he's taking a bet. And Bishop asked me, do you feel comfortable? I said, I feel comfortable, we'll start. So actually, we did it, and
Praise God.
now it has become. But I never want to say it is my who initiated.
No, but
I always said
it was
Bishop. Because under his name only I have my existence. See, as a priest, once I say I'm a priest, then I have a lot of chances to grow.
Yeah.
If I say I'm Charles, I don't get that. Likewise, my bishop trusted, so I always protected his name, and it started in 1992. And I was there for, that is the most challenging.
What was it that drew you to that cause, Father? Was it because it was a problem at that time, or was it because you wanted to do something for...
I believe in the social change process.
Praise
and the social work.
Yes, that's so important.
That time there were lots of projects-oriented social work were going on.
Yeah.
And one of the paradigm shift that we recommended in our commission report is, we have to move from social welfare to social action.
Yes.
Because we have to conscientize the
Absolutely.
people and bring some change in their life.
Absolutely.
For that, I saw this is the most important evil that which we have to eradicate.
Yeah.
And by God's grace, we started. Then all priests collaborated. Now there are many godfathers for that. I never say it is, but
as long as the movement is going on, and as long as it is helping somebody, and it's bringing a lot of changes.
Yeah, the Week magazine interviewed me in 1994 regarding this anti-alcoholic movement, and they really appreciated how you could dare to, because it is like a jumping into darkness.
And it's going against the system, actually, in one way. Yes.
It's not the system's structure. So, and also the Bishop Susai Pakam, he's opted for that. So once I got support from the authorities, definitely I can stand. And that's why I did it. And not I, we did it.
Yeah.
And the people, they all collaborated. Even I could sacrifice a lot of things because of that. My families were attacked. Even my brother was brutally tortured. And I had a great loss in my life. But even then, I never felt
Who did you run to at that time, Father? Did you think of the Mass? Did you think of the Rosary? Did you think of the Blessed Sacrament?
Prayer was there. I prayed a lot. But I would say it is people who did it. The support of the people. I believe that God worked through the people. Because as a priest, most of the priests were against. Even the parish priests are against. But even then, the people support. Then God's intervention is there. I don't limit myself to my own personal prayer. I prayed a lot, and our Mother Mary, definitely.
Absolutely.
But the thing is this, the people's support and people's cooperation, the people wanted it, and people owned it. Then the government was forced to. So that's another experience which I want to share I was put in my younger age, or usually the senior priests are appointed in a parish called Peta Parish, which is the heart of the city, Trivandrum. When I was appointed, then there are lots of, again, priests started murmuring why he's appointed there and all. But that's Bishop Susai Pakam started the starting of the small Christian communities in Trivandrum Diocese. And this is the only parish where the priest was not that cooperative. So he wanted me to go and start this process. So I did, and it is more that time there was about 800 families in the parish.
Praise the Lord.
And I started working. I don't know. See, whenever I go to a parish or an institution, I don't have any plan of myself.
You just surrender everything to the Lord.
Once I go there, every day I get some kind of inspiration, and I
just follow this step by step.
I am moved by something. But definitely because of my academic studies and all, I had a systematic way of approaching an issue. That's definitely there. And when that is a very traditional parish, and they do not want to make any change. So I started making the people know it is not. But they all appreciate my sermon and all, and I got a lot of support from them. But there are a few people who are said to be the so-called
conservative.
Not conservative. They're not educated. It's an educated parish, but those people who are here, so they want to have the rituals and all. So I said, we want to change, especially in the Paschal Holy Week and all. They said, no, we won't allow you to change. but by God's grace and people's support and everything, the washing of the feet. That time the ladies were not allowed, but even so people's representations were there. And so I could see that once we genuinely start make some change in the parishes, people will always appreciate. That is one of the, it was very challenging. In my 30 years of priesthood, the greatest challenge that I got, it is from that parish. But even now today, once I was given, I'd never go for any send-off. I will say, announce in the church, I am getting a transfer. Then one fine morning I will leave, because I never handle money. I never handle the accounts with me. So everything will be audited by. So when they, but even they came to know they are leaving that evening, then they made on a sudden a gathering. One man said, he never constructed any building. He constructed building and all, but he constructed a people of God in our parish, and we are indebted to you, Father. So this is
it's almost like a cherishing moment for you at that time,
because,
Father?
Definitely. Then when I was there, that usually people contribute for the church feast. Church feast they contribute. That time it was about 16,000 rupees, something that they put the illumination and all. Then I said, why do you want to celebrate such a feast? Why can't we start a project? If you are celebrating a feast, have a housing project. Even now, it is called one feast, one house. If you are celebrating a feast, now they have constructed more than 18 houses in that parish.
These are like the cherishing, those happy moments that make you feel useful.
That's cherishing moments, and also because when the cherishing comes, it is not because simply sitting in a place. We have to take some challenge. We have to face the difficult situations. It is there we find. It is there God inspires, and the people support is. I always understand the inspiration of God is always the people support. The cooperation of the people. It is not something one man show. I don't believe. So this housing project now, afterwards, it is being multiplied to many of the parishes. Even in my diocese, archdiocese, the housing project has become. So that is in 1995. The first feast
many years now.
Now it is going to be hardly say around 23 years or something like that. But this is now they have more than 20 houses they have constructed. These are my cherishing moments.
It's such a useful thing, and people will appreciate. And
because of my educational background. Now I'm a social work stream. Definitely, my thinking, my sermon, my homily, and all my interventions, everything goes like that.
Father, especially as you work with different people, different societies and parishes, different types, and you've worked so much with the youth, what is your vision for the church, Father?
The vision for the church, I would prefer to say that, the church as a priest, in the church as a priest, I could tell that we are having three roles: leading, teaching, sanctifying. Now, most of the roles that which we were doing, it's being engaged. But the teaching, what do we teach? And whom do we lead? And what do we want to sanctify? This is to be interpreted in today's context. Now, teaching, we consider the formal education. I don't believe in that. Teaching of values. Those areas where people have already intruded into ours. They are already, schools you take, colleges you take, Muslims, Hindus, almost.
Everyone.
Even the secular organizations are taking up. Earlier we were the only one. So let them take. But what do we teach? The teaching the values. That's not teaching, it's living the values. That way we can sanctify. I believe that the church has to give more importance for the sanctifying, the administration of sacraments is very, very important. Because priests are not available. For anything and everything, we depend on the priest. That has to be minimized. The lay people, laity should be promoted. And as we read in the Acts of the Apostles, those things which are of money matters, material things, should be given to. And we have to train the people. We have to make some partakers of the building process of the church. But now, the priest is the custodian of all these resources. Bishops are custodians. To what extent we can go. See, in my priest life, I can tell, the one thing which I want to thank God, that is never I handle money, therefore never people made me to sit and answer the money that you spent. So because I am always free. So we have to break those structures the priest-centered. We should focus on the people-centered. People, the people of God. People of God, we should not generalize. We should say children, youth, married couples, elderly population, elderly people. So because elderly people are not, so for anything in the world is money. Money is becoming the center right now. That we have to get rid of. Or we have to go further.
It's like a huge boulder standing in front of us.
That's why more than we are giving some kind of an example or making the people motivating, we are becoming scanty because of this money aspect. So people-oriented, people-empowered, and people-based church, that has to be brought. That's why, see, the Pope Francis is becoming a great inspiration today because he says, if you are not doing justice to your brother, and Pope recently published Ducat, Catechism, that UCAT is there, but Ducat is there. Ducat is precisely to know what you believe. You just to do, and you practice catechism. Not simply professing catechism, practicing catechism. So many documents are written by the popes, but these things are not reaching to the people. Even today, the teachings of the church is said to, the social teachings of the church is said to be ever told to seek for the Catholic Church. So we have to give the people. So the Ducat, even now, it is 2 years are already over. Ducat is published by Pope Francis. But no, I think most of the priests,
not many.
When I go to the parishes and I speak, they say, is there a document like that? They all know UCAT.
It's also there on the net. So people, most of the children take it from there and they directly take it
and also
down.
Another thing which we want, so that we have to, and also in the seminary formation too, we should have the parish-based experience should be given to those priests who are coming up. Because now many of them think performing, we are more performers. The church, the performing,
which is so dangerous, isn't it, Father?
Very dangerous, because in the heart of heart, it's a vacuum. A vacuum is
emptiness.
There.
There's a lot of emptiness.
So performing priests we don't need. We want to priests who are living. When I say this, we also perform many things because but it is slowly moving, shifting ourselves from performing to living. But the other turn is also taking. Performing. So performers are always magicians like. So I don't. So that's what I want to sanctifying, the living experiences. Thereby we sanctify, and the sacraments, administered sacraments, should be experiential. Sacraments we are simply considering as a ritualistic. Rituals are performed, but the experience, that is living.
God living in our works. Thank you so much. Thank you for that really wonderful thought, and I really hope and pray that our priests and anyone working in the mission also feel the same, that they are cherished, that they are loved, that they are taken care of by God Himself, and they are really protected. We thank you so much for being with us today, Father. Dear people, as you've just seen, it was such a wonderful blessing to have Father Charles Leon with us. 33 years has been so precious for him. 12-year-old child coming into seminary life, unaware of what it is all going to lead him into, but yet just completely trusting and just moving forward, not wanting to be stagnating or not wanting to be where he is all the time, but just wanting to move along. And he followed the inspiration step by step, and he worked. He became so many different things with different people, but in all of that, he felt so close to the Lord, in the palm of God, working for Him, and being felt loved and cherished. We hope this program has inspired you in some way, and as always, we request for you to pray for priests, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next episode. Thank you. God bless you.